Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and something feels wrong. Not dangerous, not yet. Just quiet. You reach for your phone. No messages, no notifications, no missed calls. You open social media. Nothing new. You turn on the television. Every channel is frozen. You walk toward the window, and that's when things become strange. Cars are sitting in the street. Traffic lights are still changing from red to green, but no one is driving. No one is walking. No one is talking. You call your family. No answer. Your friends. Nothing. The police. Nothing. Emergency services. Nothing. So you get into your car and start driving. You search your neighborhood, then downtown, then the highway. You honk your horn. You shout from the window. You stop at houses, stores, offices, anywhere another person might be. But every house is empty. Every office is abandoned. Every highway is silent. And after hours of searching, an impossible thought slowly enters your mind. What if everyone is gone? What if, somehow, you are the last human being on Earth? At first, this might actually sound incredible. No work, no bills, no traffic. Every mansion is yours. Every supercar is yours. Every store is basically free. You could walk into the most expensive restaurant in the city, take whatever you wanted, and nobody could stop you. For a few hours, you might feel like you own the entire planet. But there's one problem. Civilization wasn't built to run itself. And the moment humanity disappears, the countdown begins. Day 1. During the first few hours, life would feel surprisingly normal. Electricity would probably still be available in many places. Water might still come from your faucets. The internet might continue working. Street lights would turn on automatically. Security cameras would continue recording empty streets. And satellites would continue circling hundreds of miles above your head. For a brief moment, you would be living inside a civilization controlled by ghosts. Machines following instructions given to them by people who no longer exist. Your first instinct might be to enjoy yourself. You could walk into a supermarket and take anything you wanted. Chocolate, steak, expensive wine, whatever you want. But if you're smart, you'd realize something immediately. Food isn't your biggest problem. Not yet. Water is. You can survive for weeks without food. But without safe drinking water, your situation becomes dangerous very quickly. So while millions of bottles are still sitting on supermarket shelves, you start collecting them. Water, canned food, medicine, batteries, flashlights, tools, fuel, and perhaps most importantly, a radio. Because somewhere deep inside you, you're still hoping you're wrong. You find a working transmitter, turn it on, choose a frequency, and speak. Is anybody out there? Silence. You try again. This is an emergency broadcast. If anyone can hear me, please respond. Nothing. And for the first time, being alone stops feeling exciting. The first week, a few days pass, and civilization begins to die. Modern power grids are incredibly complex systems. Power plants constantly balance electricity production with electricity demand. Without engineers, technicians, and control room operators, failures would eventually begin spreading through the network. Some power plants would automatically shut themselves down. Others might continue operating for a while, but eventually, the lights would start going out. One neighborhood, then another, then entire cities. Imagine standing on top of a skyscraper at night, watching a city built for millions of people slowly become dark. One building at a time, one street at a time, until eventually, you are looking at something modern humans almost never see, a truly dark city. And when electricity disappears, another problem arrives. Gas stations stop working. Their pumps need electricity. So even though thousands of gallons of gasoline may still be sitting underground, getting to it becomes increasingly difficult. Your car is no longer just transportation. It's a limited resource. Every mile matters. Then the water system begins to fail. Modern cities depend on pumps, treatment facilities, pressure systems, chemicals, and constant maintenance. Eventually, you turn on the faucet. Nothing comes out. That's when you realize the city is no longer the best place to survive. Cities were designed for millions of humans working together, not one person trying to survive alone. The first month, you leave the city. Maybe you choose a farmhouse, a cabin, or a property near a freshwater lake. Somewhere with land. Somewhere you can grow food. Somewhere with solar panels, if you're lucky. But now, something strange begins happening. Nature starts entering the world humans left behind. Grass grows through cracks in sidewalks. Plants spread across parking lots. Deer wander through abandoned neighborhoods. Birds build nests inside buildings. Dogs that once depended on humans struggle to survive or begin forming packs. Farm animals escape through damaged fences, and predators slowly begin exploring places they once avoided. For thousands of years, humans acted like the unquestioned rulers of these places. Now, you're just another animal trying to survive. And then you discover another problem. You have access to almost everything humanity ever created, but very little of it lasts forever. Gasoline degrades. Batteries die. Medicine expires. Freezers stop working. Cars break. Generators fail. And when something breaks, there is no mechanic coming, no electrician, no engineer, no doctor, and no replacement part arriving tomorrow morning. Suddenly, even a small injury becomes dangerous. A simple cut could become infected. A broken bone could completely change your life. Even a tooth infection could become a serious medical emergency. Before humanity disappeared, your life was supported by millions of invisible specialists. People you probably never met. People maintaining electricity, cleaning water, producing medicine, repairing roads, operating communication networks, growing food, moving supplies, quietly keeping civilization alive. Now, every one of those jobs belongs to you. 6 months later. By now, loneliness may be becoming more dangerous than hunger. Humans are social animals. Our brains evolved to communicate, cooperate, argue, laugh, love, and live with other people. You begin talking to yourself more often. Maybe you give names to objects. Maybe you leave the radio running, even when there's nothing but static. Because silence has become unbearable. But you don't stop searching. Every morning, you broadcast another message. Every evening, you listen. Is anyone alive? Nothing. So you travel farther. You search nearby towns, airports, hospitals, universities, military bases. You paint giant messages on roads and rooftops. Alive. Use this frequency. Meet here. You keep telling yourself, someone must exist. One person. Somewhere. Earth is enormous. Surely you can't be the only one. But every place you visit tells the same story. Empty chairs, unfinished meals, open doors, silent phones. A world interrupted in the middle of a sentence. Eventually, searching becomes exhausting. and you face a terrible choice. Spend your remaining life looking for someone who may not exist, or accept the possibility that you really are alone. 1 year later, the world looks different now. Without maintenance, roads begin deteriorating. Storms damage buildings, water enters cracks, metal rusts, plants invade structures. Some tunnels begin to flood. Trees grow into power lines that haven't carried electricity for months. Wildlife populations begin shifting, and the soundscape of Earth changes completely. Instead of engines, birds. Instead of construction, wind. Instead of sirens, wolves. Cities slowly become strange forests, made from concrete and steel. But you have adapted. You collect rainwater. You grow vegetables. You preserve food. You teach yourself how to repair basic machines. You collect survival manuals, medical textbooks, engineering books, farming guides. You build solar power systems. You store spare batteries. You maintain several vehicles. And you gather as many medical supplies as possible. Eventually, you learn the most important survival lesson of all. Never depend on only one system. One water source can fail. One generator can break. One crop can die. One accident can end everything. So you create backups for your backups. But there is one thing you cannot replace: human contact. 10 years later, a decade passes. You're older now, and the world is greener. Many of the machines that once defined civilization are becoming useless monuments. Cars disappear beneath vines. Shopping malls fill with plants. Airports become fields. Some buildings collapse. Others remain standing, like enormous tombstones. But some human creations survive. Stone monuments, underground structures, certain bridges, books protected from moisture, and digital information, stored on machines you may no longer know how to power. Humanity may be gone, but its fingerprints are everywhere. You walk through museums filled with paintings no one else will ever see. You enter stadiums where tens of thousands of people once screamed together and hear only your own footsteps. You look at photographs of ordinary people, families, friends, children, couples, strangers, people who never imagined that one day a single person might become the final audience for the entire human story. And then a frightening realization hits you. If you really are the last human alive, when you die, humanity doesn't simply lose one more person. It ends. Every human memory, every language, every joke, every song, every dream about the future, every unfinished story, billions of years of evolution, ending inside one human body, yours. And perhaps that's when your mission changes. Survival is no longer enough. You begin preserving information. You write down what happened. You write about what humans were, what we loved, what we feared, what we discovered. You protect books. You record your voice. You save photographs. You leave messages behind. Maybe someday, something intelligent will find them. Maybe another species. Maybe visitors from somewhere else. Or maybe no one ever will. But you do it anyway. Because now, you aren't just the last human being. You are the last witness to humanity. And here's the strangest part. Being the last human on Earth might not kill you quickly. If you're healthy, careful, and incredibly lucky, you might survive for decades. There would be enough canned food, bottled water, clothing, tools, medicine, and shelter. to give one person an enormous head start. Your real enemies would be different. Accidents, disease, fire, extreme weather, equipment failure, and isolation. Because surviving alone isn't the same as living. For thousands of years, humans survived because we worked together. One person hunted, another gathered food, someone built shelter, someone treated injuries, someone remembered where the water was. Civilization is essentially billions of humans sharing problems. Remove everyone else, and suddenly, every problem becomes yours. And maybe that's the real lesson of this scenario. We rarely notice how dependent we are on strangers. The person maintaining the power grid, the farmer growing your food, the driver bringing it to your city, the engineer keeping clean water flowing, the doctor you hopefully never need, people you've never met, quietly keeping your world alive. So if you woke up tomorrow and discovered you were the last human on Earth, your first reaction might be freedom. Your second would probably be fear. But eventually, you might feel something unexpected. Gratitude. For traffic, for noisy neighbors, for crowded supermarkets, for strangers talking too loudly, for the sound of another human voice. Because in a completely empty world, the most valuable thing left on Earth wouldn't be gold, it wouldn't be gasoline, it wouldn't be food, it wouldn't even be electricity. It would be another person. So here's the question. If everyone disappeared tomorrow, how long do you think you could survive? 1 week? 1 year? 10 years? And more importantly, if one night, after years of silence, your radio suddenly came alive and you heard a human voice coming from the other side of the country, would you risk everything to find the person sending it? If you want to explore more impossible scenarios, using real science and survival logic, subscribe, because next time, the world might not be empty. It might be changing in a way humanity has never survived before.